What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Real Fans FC. And this is a juicy one because we just came out of the first round of World Cup qualifying, and there was a lot of results we did not expect. There's teams on top of their groups that we did not expect. Up and down. It's going to be an interesting two more windows, and we're going to be covering those as we move along towards that. So be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content down the road of us predicting and covering those matches. But anyways, we're going to recap the games that just happened. And yeah, I'm going to bounce it over to you, Will, first. I think we're going to go group by group, team by team, and knock these out.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Like you said, we'll go group by group, team by team. You got to cover every team, dude. Obviously, there is only 12 teams, but like you said, Julian, action-packed, a lot of big-time results. I'm going to keep it real. A lot of results for you and me. Not the most favorable. It was tough, but yeah, you live and you learn. And obviously, it's just the start of it. There's still a lot of more games to be played, but time is moving quick. But yeah, let's start off to Group A. I'm going to kick it off with the group leaders. Suriname. Listen, obviously a 0-0 result, very big positive for them at home against looking like the group favorite of Panama, and then going on the road. And I want to keep this, by the way, not just anywhere. Concacaf World Cup qualifiers, Cuscatlán, all the way in El Salvador, San Salvador. Massive victory, 2-1. I mean, shout out the Suri boys, man. Listen, I will say this, dude. I have no ill will towards this team. Incredible results. They looked well. They looked sharp. They look like they have a game plan. And I will give that to Suriname. Not just within the games, but the whole system and the systematic approach. Every player on that field knows what they're doing, whether it's Geraldo Becker or the goalkeeper Bachir, who shout out to him, incredible game against Panama. But yeah, huge shout out to Suriname.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think they got a result, both results that they were looking for. I think it's hard to ask for them to get a win against Panama because they're still missing some pieces that can take down a team like Panama. But that was a result that you wanted to get in San Salvador and get that result and get the win in a tough place to play. At the end of the day, you're supposed to be the better team. You did what you're supposed to do, and then you got the draw that you needed against the better team. I think this is a successful window for Suriname. Hopefully they can keep it going. It's going to be tight. It's going to come down to the wire, I think. So yeah, great result for them.
Yeah, completely agree, dude. Let's move to the second place team, which I would love to say Panama, but it's not even them. It is El Salvador, which, like you kind of alluded to earlier, Julian, obviously that 2-1 loss, disappointing in the essence of not picking up the points, but the performance was not bad. Listen, El Salvador reminds me a little bit of like a Nicaragua on steroids. A lot of their guys play in El Salvador. Not a lot of domestic guys outside of the country or international players. A lot more domestic talent. But they're a little bit, obviously, the league's a little bit better, more advanced and whatnot in that thing. But yeah, obviously, not picking up the result at home against a Suriname team, a tough one, but looking competitive, looking good, and battling. And I mean, dude, the thing is, it almost makes you forget about that result a little bit for what they were able to do in that first game. Beating Guatemala on the road, incredible fashion. Listen, dude, I was looking at a stat. Guatemala has not lost in a World Cup qualifier at home. It's been quite some time, dude. They're up there with you guys. It's been quite some time. It's a fortress. Going to Guatemala is tough. It's a very, very hard place to go into. And El Salvador walked in there, and they walked in like it was a freaking park, dude. They walked in there, and it literally reminded me of a GTA meme where the guy's standing, and he's holding a dog. That's what El Salvador was doing to Guatemala. It was a little walk in the park for those boys. So shout out to them. They managed the game well. They frustrated Guatemala a lot. And one big name I will shout out, dude, Osorio, young, he's a dual nat, born in the U.S. I want to say he plays for Chicago Fire now. Incredible stuff from that guy. Got the game-winning goal as well. So,
yeah, I agree. I think El Salvador's goal was just to make some noise in this group. Obviously, no one had them getting out and winning the group or even getting second place to the intercontinental run. So every window, they just had to treat it like, let's make some noise. Let's make it difficult. Let's show that we're not going to get walked on. And they did that. Like you said, they went to Guatemala. They were by far the underdog, and they got out there with the result. Obviously, you would have liked to get the draw at home because you want to take as many home points as you can. But you got some points. You made up for it because I think prior to this window, the best you could have hoped for was 2 points with back-to-back draws. But hey, you did a little bit better than that. You got a big result.
Yeah.
I think you have to be proud of that and just hope that the next window you can get some sort of points again. Make it interesting. Continue to do what they're doing. So let's move on to the next one, and that is Panama, who's in third place with 2 draws out of this window. Will, I bounce it off to you first as our resident Panamanian. What do you think?
Disappointing, frustrating, aggravating. I'm pissed off.
He's angry.
I'm angry now, dude.
He's heated.
I'm gonna be real. I'll be honest. I mean, Julian and I have talked a lot about this, and something that I remember, Julian, you and I talked a little bit about on our phone call a couple days after the games. I told you straight up the truth, and this is how I feel. If these guys don't qualify to the World Cup, playing the way they did these first 2 games, I'm not going to feel sad. I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be very, 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 very just aggravated. And I'll call out players. Amir Murillo, brother, you play at Olympic Marseille, step it up. Step it up. You're playing Champions League ball. You're not playing in Panama. Let's go. Anibal Godoy, get off my team. Bro, you're too old. Fidel Escobar, you're not fast. Get off the team. You're not good enough. Other guys, dude. Eddie Davis, retire from the team. What are you doing? Stop playing. Fajardo, give up in life. Just give up in soccer. Just stop playing. Stop playing. Like you don't have a team on this. You don't have a place on this roster. And I'll be real, Julian, like looking at the game management as well, I'm not happy with the Mas Christensen. The players he's playing, the formations, it just seems like he's so caught up in doing what he wants to do. I'm going to be real. It's not over. Just for the sake of this video, obviously I could go on for hours about this topic, but we'll move it on. I will say for these 2 games, the Suriname game, I was expecting in a sense, I kind of was preparing for a draw away from home, a tough result, a tough team, a tough Surrey team. These boys are good. They get up for the games, World Cup qualifiers, Concacaf. Expected. The Guatemala result, 0 heart, 0 lack. A lack of empathy for the game, and that's just tragic. You can't play like that. So, yeah, it's a tough scenario, obviously, going it here. I still count us in. I still think we can take that automatic spot, but they have to win. No more draws. No more draws. And that's away from home as well. So.
No, yeah, obviously this is not worst case scenario, but it's not a good case scenario. It is not good.
Yeah.
This is a very poor start for a team that's supposed to get an automatic bid. I mean, only 1 goal in 2 games is inexcusable for a team of this quality against opponents of that quality. They should be putting up more goals. Like a 0-0 against Suriname is inexcusable. That Suriname defense is not that great. They should not be getting 0 goals on that. Obviously, there were some great saves by the Surinamese goalkeeper. He was amazing, but there were some sitters that Panama just completely missed. And the same happened against Guatemala, except probably even worse. It seemed like you guys even had a harder time breaking down the defense and scoring goals and not just creating any chances and no one making space, moving into those open spaces to create those chances. So it just felt dull, like nothing was happening, that they were just kind of going through the motions. And yeah, like you said, somebody needs to step up. They need to start playing together. They need to switch things up. I think Christensen probably needs to make some wholehearted changes because it feels that everybody's kind of figured you out. So we'll see how that goes in October. But yeah, we'll move on to the final team in Group A, and that is Guatemala, who had also, in my opinion, a very disappointing window for their standards.
Yeah, Guatemala is a tough team to read, and I'll be real with you, Julian. Picking up that second result for Guatemala, that's like winning a World Cup final. Going away to Panama and drawing to us was huge for them. Only thing is, Guatemala's in a real hole now. If you were telling me this after Guatemala beat El Salvador, I would say 4 points, huge window for Guatemala. They're in the driver's seat. Not the case. Guatemala is in, I will say, worst case, heart rate. I'm talking about guys on the bed. And dude, you got the life jacket. I'm talking about stretcher, let's go. Like, dude, it's getting to that last beat right now for Guatemala. So we'll see with them. Obviously, I can't say too much because in that second game, they looked poised to get that result, and they did it. It's a team that doesn't have, obviously kind of similar a lot to El Salvador, Nicaragua. They have mostly domestic players. A lot of these guys play at Municipal, Comunicaciones, and stuff like that. But that doesn't matter, dude. These guys showed up, man. I mean, I will say it. A Caballo Morales, man. That guy, he might be like 5'4", but golly, he's got the fight of a giant, dude. Incredible. He's got a lot of heart to him. So, yeah, tough results for Guatemala, but I think they could be able to build from that draw. Now, if they would have lost, dude, and we were able to take care of them, I think it would have been a rough one. But I think they still have a little bit of hope.
Yeah, like you said, I think that the result against Panama was huge. Getting that draw away, I think that's the most you can ask for of this Guatemala team in the current kind of quality that they are. I mean, you could arguably say with the way Panama they were playing that maybe they should have got the 3 points and they should have been a little bit better on the ball and the chances that they've had as well. I will say they did have a decent game, but considering with the way Panama's playing, you feel like you got to take advantage of that moment. And then obviously not taking advantage at home in the first game, it was just an absolute disappointment. This is a team that you're supposed to be in El Salvador at home. This is a team that should be an easy 3 points for you at this current state of this El Salvadorian team. And you don't get it done. So like you said, it's a hit or miss. It's like if you didn't have that terrible loss against El Salvador, you're rolling in feeling pretty damn comfortable. Like, oh yeah, let's go. We got 4 points. We're feeling good. But you lost against the worst team in the group, and now you still have to play Suriname twice, which is going to be an uphill battle. So
yeah,
and you could arguably say, like you said, like I said just a second ago, you maybe lost some points there in that Panama game. Maybe there's some moments that you should have put it away. You should have got the goal. You should have got that second one in there. So yeah. Anyways, we'll move over to Group B. This one, I will say is actually kind of interesting. I will say, obviously, we get the expected first place team, and that is Jamaica. And I'll go ahead here, Will. They got their +6 goal differential, haven't allowed a goal yet, got 2 wins. Look, they did what they were supposed to do, and also too, this is I don't know if you saw these Jamaica games, but this is not necessarily their strongest lineup. This was kind of a rotated lineup. They had some people on the bench. There was, Mikel Antonio was on the bench. You had Shamar Nicholson on the bench. They're kind of experimenting. McLaren was kind of experimenting with what he had. I do have some worries with Damian Lowe. He looks a little shaky. He doesn't look clean. He never was a super clean player, but he's looking a little bit worse to me. And then same thing with Andre Blake. Andre Blake, this was like a guy who's been extremely sharp in net for Jamaica for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And there's moments to me where I feel like he's having lapses in judgment. But overall, this was a good result. I like what they've been able to create with some of these different pieces in there, and not the same guys that you're used to, your Damari Grays, your Leon Baileys, your Mikel Antonio, whoever. Their mess. Obviously, Casey Palmer was in there, and I thought he had some good moments. But yeah, overall, I think not a bad scenario. There's still, like I said, some concerns, because if you look at that Trinidad game, Levi Garcia had like a offsides hat trick. So, I mean, you're talking about certain measurements. If he could be a little bit more calm in the attack, it could have been a lot closer game. Like, it wasn't like Jamaica was super comfortable in that Trinidad game, but considering the players that were out there on the field, I think it was a good result. They were able to get a couple goals, and
just kind of literally, honestly, I'll just echo a lot what you just said, Julian, and kind of roll with it, dude. Jamaica took care of business. I think that was the goal. Nobody's shocked. I don't feel like it, but it's also one of those where it's like, okay, this team got a lot, and deservingly so, a lot of heat this summer, but it's still a solid Jamaica team. This is still a team, as much as, myself or you, Julian, and any other fan in Concacaf is thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to lose to St. Vince, or they're going to lose to Belize. This is still a team that can take care of that business. And they have their moments. They have a lot. They have a lot of moments, but completely agree with you. Obviously, I like seeing that domestic talent that Steve McLaren's kind of drawing in there a little bit. That Trinidad game, though, was a little bit worrisome. Yeah. So obviously some things to clean up there on the defensive side of it. But yeah, like you said, they got the 6 points. So
yeah, let's move to Curacao. Curacao They had some close games, man. I think a good 0-0 draw against Trinidad is solid. Obviously, I think in that matchup, that's going to be the big pivotal matchup in this group. You probably want to get the 3 points, and I'll probably echo the same thing that when we talk about Trinidad is that game. There's games you kind of want to pick up points, but hey, you got the draw. You know what? You move on, and then you get the win against Bermuda, a little closer than you would have liked. It was a 3-2 shootout. But you get the result done. You're chasing Jamaica. You got a big game coming up next window. If they can get a result there, I mean, you're talking about hopping over in first place. So even though we all have Jamaica as like getting out of this, it's not technically locked up yet. You know, you never want to be safe. You want to look at Group A and C. You never know. So
yeah, dude, completely agree. Listen, I don't know if I'm a genie or if you want to say I'm just psych, whatever. I know my stuff. I called it Tahiti Chong, man. Listen, I knew he not only was going to have a good window, but I knew he was going to be crucial for this team, and he would step up. And did he step up? Boy, oh boy, I'll be real with you, Julian. I genuinely don't want to say this, but if he's not playing that game, Curacao might draw that game very, very easily. Maybe somebody else, one of the Bakuna bro steps up, but shaky game for Curacao. At the end of the day, they got the 3 points. They took care of business. I will say goal differential will be important at the end. So if I'm Curacao, don't get comfortable. Don't get relaxed. It's not over because they still have the double with Jamaica, and that's going to be a tough one for them. So, but yeah, I agree with you, dude. I think Curaçaoians can look out of this window. Okay, we took our points, but get ready for the next.
Yeah, and just real quick, I think they have to start going for wins. I don't think draws are going to be good enough if you want to eclipse Jamaica. You got to get wins. Like you can't draw no more. Even if you draw Jamaica, you gotta at least beat them on another game. But anyways, we'll move on to the next one, and that is Trinidad and Tobago. Man, this is a team that we've been a little low on. I love the Trinidadian fans; they're super supportive on this channel. But man, it's been rough for you boys out here. I swear, man, Levi Garcia. This guy is like the only one bringing life to this team. This guy's the only one bringing life to him, and he's playing well, not just for Trinidad, but also for his club. He's playing well. Obviously, dude gets a offsides hat trick, which is that's rough. That was he got a little too excited on the ball. I thought that Trinidad had a decent game against Jamaica. Obviously, they had a tougher window here. You had to play Curacao and Jamaica this round. The first game was at Trinidad, and then they had to play away at Jamaica. So, like I said, if you're Trinidad, you want that win. Like I was just saying with Curacao, that's a pivotal matchup for you. You want to get that win because there's probably a good chance you're going to lose to Jamaica. But I would say overall for Trinidad, a pretty disappointing result. I think you want to get that draw against Jamaica, try to get something against them, and then you got to beat Curacao at home. You had to, and they couldn't. Quite honestly, I'm a little worried for them going forward. I don't know if they can eclipse that second spot. They do have a chance. They're going to get a cleanup, get right game against Bermuda next. So if Curaçao's able to lose that game and then they're able to perform pretty well, catch up on goal differential there, they could potentially hop into second place, and things can get a little bit interesting in that intercontinental playoff race.
Yeah, I agree with you, dude. Listen, like you said, shout out the Trinidadians. Love you guys. Love obviously the support. Love watching them. Their football. I've always find it so interesting, dude. I love honestly watching it. Soca Warriors, man. Shout out to them. They're hard fought spirit. They play well. They perform well. They always give it their all. Obviously, a lot of results, like any national team, you're going to lose, and it's tough results. But like you said, they're digging a little bit of a hole. The way I look at Trinidad, like you said, they have the double on Bermuda. Unlike Curacao now has the double on Jamaica. Trinidad's got rid of that away game, not even a home game, an away game against Jamaica. Now, next time they play Jamaica, it's home, and they have 2 more games against Bermuda. So you look at that, you could maybe potentially say 7 points, and then you get Curacao away. Why not get a win there or a draw? You're looking anywhere in the range of 7 to 10 points when Curaçao's kind of looking more at the range of like a, 4 to 6 type of beat. So it's going to be, obviously, the schedule's tougher on Curacao, but like you said, I think Trinidadians, Levi Garcia is the big point. I like Tyrese. I've really been high on this guy ever since he's been, keen in the MLS. He's looked well. Johnny Fortune, other guys there. And they obviously have the likes of older guys, a Kelvin Jones, and other dudes on the team. But it's going to take a lot from Dwight York, like you said, to get into that intercontinental. I wouldn't count Trinidad out, though. Yeah, I think this team still has a little bit of fight in them left, so we'll see. But, Julian, I know we had to save the best for last, of course. Our Bermuda boys.
My national team.
Yeah.
My national team.
My favorite.
Yeah. So. That is Bermuda. I hate to say it, man. There's not much to say. Obviously, the first game they get absolutely blown out by Jamaica, and this is at home.
Yeah.
They couldn't get anything done. They lose. But they make it a game in Curacao. I don't know what happened. Yeah. They woke up on the right side of the bed. Obviously, Curacao was kind of controlling that game.
Yeah.
But hey, you got some goals. You're not expecting much. Just go out there, go play ball, go make a name for yourself, go do something.
Yep.
It's a tough group for them. And look, I mean, I think considering what we expected of them, you could borderline say this is not a bad window for them, considering that they're able to get 2 goals and push a team who's pushing for first place to the brink and kind of making things a little interesting in the group. You know what I mean? Who's to say that they can't sneak one? They got one at home against Trinidad. Maybe they do the same thing. We don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that, like I said, not much to say here in Bermuda, but I'm impressed in that second game.
Yeah, completely agree with you, dude. I think it's a massive dub. I think it should be a national holiday. Whatever game that day was, they played Curacao. Incredible result, dude. Kind of like I want to echo what you said at the end there, Julian. Whatever team that Bermuda is able to, and I'm going to be real, I think they are. I don't know if it's Trinidad. I don't think it'll be Jamaica. But if it's Trinidad or Curacao, whichever one of those two teams are able to sneak points away from and get a draw, or, I mean, by all means, if they pull out a freaking win, that team is not going to the World Cup. Easy as that.
Yeah, because they would have to play Jamaica at home. I mean, they would have to play Jamaica in Kingston. So that's tough.
And that's 3 points. So big 3 points.
Yeah. Let's move over to Group C. First place, we have Honduras with the draw in Curacao against Haiti, and then the draw against Costa Rica. Yep. So I'll start off with the first game against Haiti. I went back and took a look at that game, and I actually thought that was a very disappointing game from Honduras. I thought that was a very sloppy game. If anything, I would say Haiti kind of dropped points there. I was not impressed by Honduras. They had a couple chances, obviously, that I believe Romel Kyoto had one off the crossbar that was an absolute beauty, but didn't go in. Outside of that, I couldn't really think of there wasn't a whole lot of other chances that they had that made them super dangerous. And quite honestly, this is kind of what we expected from Honduras. Obviously, like getting 0 goals against a pretty poor Haitian defense is not ideal, but they go and did I say Costa Rica earlier? I meant to say Nicaragua. They went and got the win at home against Nicaragua, which is what you're supposed to do. I think Haiti, this was best case scenario. This is pretty much what I predicted coming into this window. I thought this is going to be a Haiti Honduras draw because quite honestly, I think Haiti can be is a little bit more dangerous. And I was telling you this too. And then you get the result against Nicaragua at home. Like I said, what you're supposed to do. I think it's good for Honduras that they're in first place. But like I said, they had a little bit of the favorable schedule that first week. Now they got to go play pretty tough in the next 2 windows. So, yeah. Yeah,
I agree with. I think if you're Honduranian and you're coming out of this window, this September recap, you're happy. You're extremely happy because of other results, that happened in San Jose between Costa Rica and Haiti, but also they took care of business. I will say that at the end of the day, which other teams, not only in this group, didn't take care of business, but other teams in other groups as well at home, and props to Honduras for doing that. Obviously, this was a Nicaragua team. I talked about earlier. Mostly, if I'm not, I think it's other than 2 guys that play domestic or that play international. The rest of the team's domestic, not the most branded football. It's a little bit different. So Honduras was a heavy favorite. Obviously, Romel Kyoto, you just knew he was going to step up. I mean, he loves the spotlight. He loves a World Cup qualifier game, and he looks like it. Other guys as well. I think Kevin Adiaga was very, very heavily missed. in that first game against Haiti. Julian, you said you were disappointed more or less, and it felt like from Honduras. I was disappointed in both teams. That was arguably the most boringest game.
Well,
Like for me,
I was just yeah, I agree. I was just saying that I thought Haiti was a little bit better. Haiti created more chances. They looked to be more of the enforcer in that game to me. But both teams I thought were pretty poor. Both teams couldn't convert. Both teams couldn't score. But Honduras to me looked like the worst of those two teams.
Yeah, the game was a snooze fest. I'll keep it real. I turned it off after halftime. I was like, all right, I'll get ready for Costa Rica, Nicaragua tonight. This game is getting a little bit bland. But yeah, I don't know, dude. It was just very, very interesting. I guess Honduras kind of wanted to take that approach, okay, the way they went into it. But at the end of the day, they're sitting on top of the board right now, and they're qualifying to the World Cup. So if you're Catracho, I think you're happy.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the next team in second place right now, and that is my Costa Rica. And I would say this is, for our standards, a very disappointing window. Yes, we got 2 draws, 2 points, but these were this should have been a 6-point window. I think every window should be a 6-point window if you're looking at Costa Rica, considering the talent that's on the team and who you are. And this is like your tournament. Like, quite honestly, every window should be 6 points, and not getting that is an absolute disappointment. I think we'll start off with the first game in Nicaragua. That was just a terrible game. I'm flat out saying that is the worst game I've seen Costa Rica play in probably 4 years. Was a terrible game. One of the worst games I've ever seen. Now, one thing I will say is that I noticed is I'm starting to understand why Real Steli can get some upsets in that stadium. Is, my God, that field is like an indoor soccer park. Like, it is as flat and fast as it can be. It feels like there is no sort of inertia stopping the ball from rolling, because not just Costa Rica, but even on the Nicaragua side, it just felt like that ball would just roll to infinity. Like, but outside of that, though, absolutely disappointing. Like, couldn't create really any chances. Obviously, you get the set piece goal from Alex Gamboa, but then you allow just stupid mistake and another penalty, man. Another penalty. It's same thing with Haiti. I feel like Costa Rica's given up probably a penalty a game 6 times in a row. It has been sloppiness in the back line. It's like an inconsistency. There's moments where they look completely clean, they're composed, they're getting it done, but then it's just that 1 or 2 mistakes in a game that kills them, and it's like trying to eliminate that. So Bonillo gets the penalty kick, they draw, and then the red card, which is, some people don't agree with it. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, okay with it. I think that was kind of a red card. But either way, disappointing result. And then you look at the Haiti game. You couldn't put them away. And I think that's been this Piojo era so far with this Costa Rican team, is not being able to put teams away. You get the lead, but then you allow them to come back. It's just been a consistent cycle. This Haiti team had no business tying this game. Great by them, and I'm going to talk about them in a second and give them their praises and flowers. But to be real, there was no business. That they should have been up 5-0 at the half. They given up countless chances that they couldn't put it away. They had 2 beautiful goals, but there was 2 sitters in the first half that completely just missed. If you go back and take those, easily. They dominated that entire first half, and then you get out of the halftime and just you allow Haiti to get back. You allow them in the game for no reason. And it's just, and then on top of that, like I said, what sparks it all is just another penalty kick. Then Duckins the zone, decides he's prime Zlatan Ibrahimovic and hits the fucking bicycle kick, which is incredible. And then they have just an amazing 1-2 transition play that I thought was absolutely beautiful by Haiti to give Duckins the zone the hat trick. So shout out to them for taking advantage of the opportunity. But there was no business. Costa Rica should not have allowed that team in the game. And this is not the team that we're used to from Costa Rica. We're not used to them being in shootouts. We're used to this being defensively solid. And obviously there was a lot of question marks with Piojo and what's happening there. So,
yeah, dude, I'm going to pick it off kind of where you left off, literally right there at the end about Piojo Herrera. I think, I don't think, dude, I'm talking about McFlamin' hot chicken McNuggets from Wendy's. And you take a little bit of barbecue sauce, add it on, take a little bit of that spicy ranch from McDonald's, add a little bit on, and then on top of that, put a flaming fire on it. He's in the hot seat. He is very, very much in the hot seat. I think Piojo ball is terrorist ball. I don't think it works. I think it's explosion ball 101. I think he gets close to players, and he's a good coach when it comes to individuals one-on-one with these guys. I think he's incredible in that. But you can just tell his tactics implode on himself, and it completely backfires. And it's scary to see this happening kind of earlier in his tenure. Obviously not super early. So you guys had the Gold Cup, but to see this going on right now is kind of like, it's worrisome. I'm going to be real. I think Costa Rica's in the same exact boat Panama's in. It's not the worst case scenario. It's not over. It's by far not over, but it's panic mode. It's everybody get off your ass and get the F up and start moving your MFing butt around and start doing something, because it's gotten to the point, and I'm going to be real with you, Julian, as much as Panama, we have the problem up top. Ismael Diaz turns into a shell of himself. Pumis Luis Rodriguez, has no heart. Fajardo can't miss a goal. He's worse than a middle school player. I think it's the same thing with your guys' defense. And I look at Alexis Gamboa, he's slow. I look at JPV, he looks like he's like blind. Francisco Calvo's not bad. A Jalen Mitchell, very, very missed. And even like a Julio Cascante, like he's just a big body for what? Like he's just on the field. So it's just like, I look at the defense and it's very worrisome, very, very worrisome. And then I look at the Mora bros. One Mora bro, Joseph Mora, pretty solid. I look at the other Mora bro.
I think I got mixed up, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I know. I see it now. Yeah, no,
he means the opposite.
Joseph Mora is an absolute, like, he's not even a defender. Like, he does not go back. He does not track back. And there's nobody there. And that's what I'll say. You were talking about it earlier, the 1-2s against Haiti. It's so easy and I will give, and like you said, in a moment, we'll give our praise to Haiti, but they make it so easy on them in that game, Like, you're obviously going to win a 1-2 if you're just playing one defender. If you just got to beat JPV, that's easy. Dukins Nazone and all these guys, they're going to out-sprint them. They're going to outpace them, So like you said, it's disappointing in that Nicaragua game, dude. Woo, 10 man.
That was horrific.
10 man Nicaragua, and you're up 1-0. Like, it's just like,
and a dumb mistake.
Dude.
And a dumb mistake, because Nicaragua didn't look dangerous at all that game. They didn't. They didn't look dangerous at all, and to make a stupid mistake is just terrible.
Yeah, like I said, dude. To end it real quick and to move on to Haiti, it's like Panama in the essence of this October window is a make or break, because we're lucky that this maybe happened now, but in October we're not going to be so lucky, and Costa Rica will not be lucky if this happens as a repeat. I think that Honduras game is going to be picante. It's going to be good. So
let's move on to Haiti. And I'm going to say it right now, Haiti, the Haitian fans, man, y'all have been the most vocal across CONCACAF social media. Dude, I don't know if you saw this, Will, but Keylor Navas made a post. He's like being supportive, like, yo, let's get back in this, guys. It's not over yet. Dude, the entire Keylor Navas comment section, the entire one, was just a bunch of Haitians talking shit. I didn't see like the entire thing, dude. And I'm like, I respect it, bro. Like, I respect that. Like, you guys don't, it's not very often that you guys get a chance to be into this final round of World Cup qualifying, and you guys are making the most of it. Come prior to September, I would say, you know what? If you told me Haiti got two points, I'd be like, that's one hell of a window for Haiti. And it still is. Yeah. It still is. And I think it's not bad. You got results against the two best teams in the group right now, arguably. But after seeing those two games play out, if you're a Haitian fan, and I was talking to my Haitian buddy about this, he's a big Haitian fan, and down here in South Florida, and he's like, it's a weird feeling because, let me know if you guys feel this way. It's like, I'm glad we got the 2 points because those are two big results. But you can't help but feel that you left points on the table, though. Obviously, in the Honduras game, you felt like, even though it was sloppy, you were the better team. You wanted to maybe get the 3 points there. It would have been huge to get that against Honduras. Then the Costa Rican game, even though you were getting blown out in the first half, he did manage the Costa Rica allowed you to take the lead back, which that's on them. But then you couldn't remain clean, and you allowed them to come back. Because one thing that we've seen from Costa Rica since Pio has been a part of it is they've been scoring goals super late, and they couldn't hold it tough. And that's been the Achilles heel of this Haiti team is the defense. Because my gosh, like especially in that first half, they were getting obliterated. So if they can find a way to clean that up defensively, they can be a little bit more dangerous. Same thing in the midfield. Now, I do know one of their players is coming back, one of their more important players. I'm drawing a blank on their name, was missing in the September window and is supposed to be back in October. And that should help kind of beef up their midfield a little bit more. But in general, I think it's a good feeling. I'm glad you guys are hype. But I do know, talking to some Haitian fans down here in South Florida, that even though you're excited, you got the results that you wanted to, probably not wanted, but you thought you needed. You can't help but feel that you lost some points there because you gave up the lead against Costa Rica, and then you couldn't put nothing in the back of the net in your home game, which blame your federation for putting it in freaking Curacao. Makes no sense to me. I still stand by you guys that shit should have been in Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Like that's a crime that it's not there, or New York. But yeah.
Yeah, dude, I like you said, Haiti. I think a lot of Haitian fans, absolutely for every right reason. Listen, a lot of you guys were not the most pleased with me for some comments in past videos, but listen, dude, I will put respect on this national team, and I always feel like I have. But like you said, dude, that Costa Rica game, it was hard felt. I'll say it, Julian. Those last 10, 15 minutes, I'm thinking in my whole mind, Haiti's going to win this game. Haiti's going to win this game. They had you guys on the back burner. They kept pushing you guys. They kept going forward. They kept making more plays. They kept killing you on transition. And this Haitian team, dude, Belgrade, that guy is, whoa, that guy is good. You know, the Wolverhampton Wanderers midfielder, and you can see it on the field. And from what I've been hearing and looking a little bit within the Concacaf talk and Concacaf rumors and other Concacaf guys like ourselves, is they're not going to stop picking up dual nats. They're going to pick up even more from what I'm hearing in the October window. And there's going to be a couple other guys that play in the Premier League, one or two other guys that play in La Liga or in France. And that's just going to make this team even more scarier. This team, I will say defensively, I love me some Ade, man. I love Ade, Liga del Quito, center back, incredible. Really do like him. He's a fiery, fierce defender, but he's kind of back there by himself, you know. And I feel for the goalkeeper, Duvej, also, you know, it was tough. But yeah, I agree, dude. Just kind of wrap it up and to get to Nicaragua, I will say this Haitian team, by no means, don't sleep on them, but also do not be surprised if they can get and they can sneak some way into the World Cup, whether it's that intercontinental playoff or even that first place, because that Haitian team, yeah, and like you said, dude, don't feel the advantage thing does. It hits them. It really does hit them. I can't lie. But still, this is a team away from home, at home, regardless of where they're playing. They're a nice team. They clean up well, so.
Yeah, and we'll do the final team here, and that is Nicaragua. Like I alluded to, I think a great result, great atmosphere by the fans against that Costa Rica game. You got the 1-1. You did kind of you made a fight out of the Honduras game. That Honduras game was 1-1 until I think like somewhere like the 85th or 88th or something like that till Honduras scored the second goal. It was later in the game. I don't know if you know at the top of your head, Will, but they did kind of make it a game there for a little bit. But the problem with Nicaragua is that the talent's just not there. They just don't have enough to really put up goals, because even in that great result against Costa Rica, just kind of like I alluded to earlier, it wasn't necessarily, I didn't come away from that feeling that like Nicaragua played well. Not like I did with the Haiti game. Like I felt like with Haiti versus Costa Rica, Haiti showed up in that second half and made it a game.
Yeah.
I feel like Nicaragua was just in it for the sake of just the terrible mistakes that Costa Rica did. And then in terms of the Honduras game, I thought that game they actually looked a little bit better, and they were playing a little bit more competitive. But it's just another one of those things where Honduras was just able to get the better of them right at the end of the game.
Yeah. Agreed. A lot of people going into this, Julian, and you and myself even kind of included. I will put myself in that boat. Kind of saw these guys; they were going to be the whooping boys. They were going to kind of be the punching bag for a lot of teams. Nicaragua's not going to be like a Bermuda. I don't see that, and they've already shown that. Obviously picking up a massive. I mean, I think it was over 21 plus years since they've ever got any sort of positive result against Costa Rica. So massive
Scored.
shout out to
I think it was
Tornadoes.
scored.
Yeah, well, scored, and also I saw any sort of result. The last time they ever, because every result leading up, like I said, it was over 20 years, was a loss. Every game, and whether it was Gold Cups, Nations Leagues, all those types of things. But yeah, positive, very good result in that aspect. If you're Nicaraguan, I think obviously qualifying directly is, I don't want to say impossible, but it's not there. Intercontinental is going to be very tough also for them. If they're going to want to do it, they have to win at home these upcoming games. Obviously, I think it's a good result they got against you guys. We'll see how they do in October. But like you said, it's just you feel for this team because it sucks. And it's almost like reverse psychology when I think about like a Panama or even like a Costa Rica. But when I look at Panama, we have the players, we have the quality, we have guys all over the world playing, but we lack the heart. We're lacking passion. And I look at Nicaragua, they don't lack that at all, dude. This is a team that gives 130% effort every single game. And it's beautiful to see, but they have no talent. They really don't. I mean, Brian Bonilla is getting older. Juan Barreras, I mean, he might be as old as my grandma, so it's kind of like it's catching up a little bit to a lot of these guys. So, but yeah, that is our full recap. So
that was like you said, that was our full recap of the September window. I want to thank everybody. If you made it to the end of this video, we greatly appreciate it. And yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you're listening on audio platforms, please be sure to follow and leave a rating. Let us know what you think down in the comments below of our takes of the September window, and look forward to some more Concacaf content as we lead into the October one that I feel like is going to come out of nowhere. So yeah, I want to thank you guys, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.